All right. I'm having some technical issues today with some of my software. I don't know why I'm having these issues. It's annoying me. And I've also just realized that my screen is not set correctly, so I'm going to fix. Hang on, what's going on here? No, maybe it is correct. Yeah, that looks right. Let's check that. The more I stream, the more I find problems. Okay, it is working, so that's fine. No, I'm just seeing myself in myself. Okay. I don't know why that's not working. That's exceedingly annoying. Anyway, I'm supposed to have my little chat window pop up on the screen above me here. It doesn't seem to be working today, so oh well. I'll just have to do without it. Hey Cameron! You seem to be the only person around. So, last week I was getting back to my Sendig stream, my Sendig theme build, and I discovered that Figma has something called MCP in dev mode, or the dev mode MCP server. And so I was able to get myself a dev seat through work. So I now have a dev license for Figma, and I have enabled the dev mode by going to the little Figma icon here, preferences, enable local MCP server. And that sets up the MCP server on this local URL. And then in VS Code, and I've just chosen VS Code because it's easier to set up MCP in VS Code personally. I have configured the MCP server. It basically uses the HTTP type, and then you pass in the URL, and then it works. It's all just magically there. So there are 7 tools available. And they do things like add code connect map, whatever that does. Map the currently selected Figma node to a code component. Okay. Create design system rules. Generate UI code for a given node or the currently selected node in the Figma desktop app. Use the noded parameters, specify the node ID. If no node ID is provided, the currently selected node will be used. If a URL is provided, extract the node ID from the URL. So it can use URLs. There's a mapping or some other, there's metadata, it can generate a screenshot, and it can get something called variable definitions. So I tested this earlier, and the results were pretty interesting, I must say. So I was using the front page option. I'm going to zoom in on that quickly. And this is what it looks like. So that's the front page area, and all the information it has. And this is what it generated. Now it certainly isn't perfect, but it is interesting what it was able to get right. So it definitely has the little, let's side by side these. It has the little sending block at the top there. I don't know how to remove some of these things, so let's get that out of the way. There we go. It has this little sending block here. It's moved this block in the wrong place. It's put the menu along here, but the menu at least looks, it's trying to do something. It looks like it selected the right font, which is cool, and it's got the colors and things right, but it doesn't quite have the layouts correct for the stuff. It doesn't have all the fun background. This background color is totally wrong, but it does have this sort of layout, more or less. So it's not as bad as my experiments last week, but it's still nowhere near as close as what it should be. So what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to figure out how to improve this. The prompt that I gave it, I'm going to see if I can find the previous prompt. It was literally a one-shot again. I said, convert the Figma link to HTML and CSS, and that's what it gave me. So I'm trying to think how we can improve the prompts to match the Figma design. I'm not sure how we do that. I don't know Figma well enough to know how to tell it to do that. So I may have to learn how to use Figma better, which is also a strong possibility. I'm wondering if I give it some better information, because the design isn't broken up into sort of logical div areas either. So that might be part of the problem. I don't know. It certainly is interesting. So I feel like if we, I wonder if one of the other pages has, see that has a footer area, sort of the main content. I wonder if we take one of the simpler pages, like the sample page. And we kind of break that down. So like that's group 4, for example. But that's really the footer. And I'm wondering if that's one of the reasons it's not quite handling things, because it doesn't have like a logical header area. Not quite sure myself. Now what I do remember at some point is I'm pretty sure Emily actually created this originally in Sketch. I want to try and see if I can find those designs. Pretty sure she sent it to me in Sketch. I'm going to open up a tab and open up my email account off the side here. So that I can go and search. There we go. I'm wondering if it had better layout areas in Sketch when she designed it there. So let me sign in here. I think I might have an account. So I know Sketch even less. I think I even have the Mac app installed anymore. Let's see here. I may need to install the app. There we go. Suppose one just drags it into applications. All right, let's give that a try. Yeah, I can't type. Yeah, okay, it's there. So let's see if we can go back to the front page and edit this in Sketch. My computer seems very slow today. I don't know if it's because I've got too many things open or what the case may be here. Good grief. Why? I'm sure there's a way around this. Shift key to enter safe mode. Oh man. I don't know why Apple does this. Maybe I gotta reset this stuff. Don't know. Let's see. Nope, can't open Mac Sketch. Okay, well I can't check that out now. Oh, that's annoying. Okay, let's just scrap that idea. I can't stand it when things like that happen. All right, let's go back to Figma. So I wonder if we can okay, let's try the link again. Let's see here. Delete this first version. Try prompt. So when I did this prompt, I was using Claude Sonnet. I don't know why I was using Claude Sonnet. I wonder if GPT would be quicker. I have no idea which one of these is better. Let's see. Let's do a quick search online. So 9 months ago, Claude, Zoom Better, ChatGPT 01 preview. Gemini. Let's try Gemini. Let's try Gemini. Gemini 2.5 Pro. Okay. So let's say using the following Figma template, convert the home page design into an index.html page. Yeah, let's see what that does. Let's see what Gemini does with that. Before I do that, I just want to check something. Okay, I'm going to check out that. I'm going to check out trunk. Cool. And then I'm going to check out my speed, create a new branch, and let's call it Figma MCP Gemini. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Start the server. That's running. Okay. Let's do this. See what it does. Okay, I'm going to allow in this session. So that's running git code. Interesting. Okay, is it actually doing anything? It seems to have stopped. It's either broken or it's failed, or I don't know what's happened. Can't tell it to continue. Oh, it actually was doing something. Okay. Don't know why it hung there. Why does it think it's Tailwind classes? It's interesting. Why does it think it's Tailwind? I wonder if that's Gemini being stupid. I get the feeling like Gemini is not going to do a good job of this. I don't understand why it keeps freezing here either. It's very strange. Okay, this is becoming a waste of my time. No, I'm not enjoying this process. Like keeps freezing. Gemini was no good. Let's try Claude again. Let's copy that out. Let's go back to Claude. And let's see what Claude does. It's interesting to see what get code does. Get code does returns. It's like returning. It's returning React components. That's why it thinks it's React. So it seems very specifically designed towards building React apps. Interesting. Can you though? Can you see the output? What if there's some documentation about the different dev mode tools? Yeah, there you go. The default output is React and Tailwind, but you can customize this through prompts. Okay. What if I could say generate my Figma selection into block theme JSON or something? I wonder if I'll get a better response if I actually say plain HTML and CSS. I mean, it is doing HTML and CSS. So I wonder if we can iterate on the initial design once the first version is done. Okay, let's try to open it up in a browser. That's fine. I'm okay with that. It's actually got a test and refine step. Interesting. Okay. This should be interesting. Now, I wonder if I can use this as a base and we can improve on it as we go. It's still not quite there. It's a lot better. The colors don't seem quite right. This whole thing is messed up. But I feel like it's a lot closer than what the original one was. So I wonder if we can fix that. I wonder if it's possible to fix that. How would we go about doing that? That's the question. Okay. Trying to think how I would design or how I would code this if I was doing this myself. Because I feel like the header would end somewhere around here. and then you would have this area kind of customized. Okay, so I wonder if we can. So let's start this. Let's try and clean up the header first. So drop down arrow seems to be the wrong way around. So let's start with that. Maybe that's the way to do it, is try and fix things as we go. Maybe that's the way to do it. So let's try that. Okay, I want to see here, where am I? I want to rename this branch to something else. Rename get branch minus m. Branch minus m. So Figma Claude Sonnet. Okay. Let's commit that. Wait. Initial CP. One shot bold. Okay. Now let's see if we can fix some stuff. So let's say, first of all, the main navigation drop down arrow isn't displaying correctly. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a new chat. Wait. Let's keep all of those. Okay. So let's see if we can start fixing some of these bugs. The main navigation drop down arrow is displaying in the wrong direction. Okay. Okay, I'll probably close the local host, so let's just do it the old-fashioned way. Okay, that at least works. Then let's say compare the search icon to the original design. It should appear next to the word search, between the word contact and search. So let's say compare the search icon to the original design. It should appear between the contact and search menu items. And now it's picking it up from that screenshot, so I'm going to delete the screenshot. Let's delete that. Start a new window. Undo and continue. Oh, did I just lose? Okay, let's try and fix that. Just lost the changes for my... Now I've opened cursor by mistake. Just lost my changes for the fixing the drop-down arrow story. Let's try that again. Okay, I keep forgetting to keep my changes. I've saved them. Okay, let's just make sure of that. Okay, that looks better. All right. So now what I want to do, I want to VS Code version of cursor rules. I'm trying to remember what these are. I can never remember. Oh yeah, Copilot instructions, that's right. So let's create some custom instructions. Single GitHub Copilot instructions, one or more instructions.md files. Okay. Alright, single agents.md file is currently experimental. So let's go with GitHub Copilot instructions for now. To all. What I want to do is I want to automation. No, I suppose I can just automate committing changes to this repository. Too much thinking involved. I want to just vibe code. I'll come up with it just now. Okay. So let's go commit this change. Let's do it that way. Okay, let's work on the other stuff. I wonder if we have to send the link every time if we want to. Can you multiple select things? Figma. I want to just select a whole bunch of stuff. Don't seem to be able to do that. So let's try view the menu in the Figma template and fix the search icon in the menu. Let's see if that will sort it out. Okay, let's see if that worked. So let's keep all the changes. Now it's moved the whole menu over. This is going to become frustrating really quickly. So I don't think this is going to work. I'm going to have to go back to doing this the way that I was doing it. I'm not finding the whole MCP situation to be beneficial. And I think part of the problem, not problem, if you will, but part of it is the fact that these things are kind of, and this is nobody's fault, this is actually a good example of what could happen. These things are kind of not in sort of predefined containers. So you would have to work within those containers. I keep getting phoned and I keep ignoring the phone call. And so I think if I could containerize these things a bit better, that might work better, I think. I wonder if, like if I could put this into more of a container, put this into more of a container, I'll be honest, I don't know enough about Figma. I should probably spend some more time understanding how Figma works and how you might convert things from Figma to HTML. Let's see, there was some plugins. I was looking at some plugins recently. Let's go, let's see this Figma to code. So let's see what that does. Let's go tell when vector's not supported. You see, that just does. Please stop phoning me. I've already ignored your call twice. I'm busy. Don't know if that works. Gives me a whole bunch of divs. I wonder if that's not what. That doesn't really look useful. So I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to build this as a theme from scratch, which is what I was doing originally, and then customize as we go. I'm not finding these tools that allow me to turn this into HTML to be very useful. It certainly is interesting to see what I can come up with, but it's not getting me where I need to go. I mean, the menu's all in the wrong place now. This is just the wrong color completely. So I think once I'm building this out and I need to do small things, I think this is going to be helpful. But trying to do it all from scratch, it's just not. It's not a good experience. The other thing that I did try. I'll just drag this off the window quickly and make sure I'm on the right channel. Was let me just find it here. There is a 10-up Figma to WordPress theme JSON exporter. I have installed that. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong. It's very possible I'm doing something wrong. But when I use that, it doesn't seem to do anything. So my guess is that the design is not really made for that that plugin. So I think what I'm finding is I'm going to have to do this the old-fashioned way. And that's going to be taking the theme, taking the templates and the styling, all of that, and just converting it manually. It doesn't seem to be we're at a place yet where this will happen automatically for me, which kind of expected. It was nice to try though. Even the MCP stuff, I wonder. I wonder if creating the design system rules would give us anything better. Now you see, structure your Figma for alphabetic code, provide the best context for your turn, so that use components for buttons, use components, use variables, name layers semantically. I do feel like that's something that might need to change in the Figma. I think what might be helpful is if I could reach out to somebody who knows how Figma works and say, hey, this is what somebody's created for me. How would you change this so that the design is a little bit better in terms of the structure of the design? That might be the next step. I think when Emily designed this, she did it in Sketch and then migrated it to Figma because I don't think she really uses Figma. So there might be a way we can improve the Figma process. Let me try something. There was a WordPress Figma theme. I think it was 2025 or something. I think there was a 2025 Figma theme design. Yeah, here we go. I want to have a look at what that looks like and see what that generates, because that might give us some ideas. We'll see how that works. So there are templates. So let's have a look at personal blog defaults. What am I doing? Yeah, so there's the index, for example. See, and there's a header, see, and then there's the H1, and then there's post pagination for posts. So it's almost like, I feel like this is structured in a way that's, I mean, it's obviously it's more blocky, quote unquote. So there's not like the weird stuff that everybody has done, but everything's in more of a layer, and I feel like that's the way to do it. So I feel like if we can get that sorted out, we can get a better solution. Let me try this one. Let's try a few things here. I'm going to first, I'm going to make sure that I'm in the right account. How would I copy this to my, I don't know anything about Figma. How would I get this in here? Okay, here we go. So let's open that up. It shows that I'm busy viewing that, so let's close that down quickly. So let's see how that handles. Okay, this needs to be enabled. No, it looks like it's currently enabled. Okay. So let's see if that gives us, I'm assuming it's going to give me a better kind of response anyway because of the design and the theme. The theme design is just a little bit less, I want to say, it's a little bit more, I'm saying boring. Boring's the wrong word, but it's more straightforward. But let's take this one and copy link to selection and say convert the blog index. No, wrong one. I keep opening up cursor. Convert the blog index into plain HTML and CSS. Let's see what that does. Why is it fetching the web page? Why is it not MCPing? Weird. Oh, because I haven't started the server. Hang on. Stop. How do I stop this? Stop. Start the MCP server. Let's do that again. There we go. So I'm thinking my next steps after this. I've tried the theme JSON exporter. I'm going to try that on the, maybe I should try that. My next steps are going to be, I think, can the design be better structured? Will this help? Let's have a look and see what, okay, what else? What does the process look like to convert a design into block theme templates? I need to have a chat with somebody about that and kind of get their process. I've got a bunch of people that I work with that do this for a living, so I'm going to reach out to them and find out. But I feel like if the Figma design is quote-unquote structured better, then this will help things. I don't know how to do that, so it might be a case of getting somebody to show me how to do that. And if I can get that right, I think I might start getting more towards where I need to be. Let's have a look at that compared to where was I? Yeah, that's definitely looking more like what we wanted. As I say, it is a much more structured and streamlined. There do seem to be some bugs. Yeah, it's still not, see that, it's still not perfect. It still makes mistakes. Like it got that stories thing wrong. But it's definitely a better one-to-one look. But that having been said, the layout itself is a lot more straightforward. So I think that's going to be my next step. My next step is going to be to speak to somebody who knows how Figma works and to talk to them about this design. Nothing against Emily. I know she's not a Figma user, but I do feel like having, I don't know why OBS is trying to find devices on the local network, but okay. I do feel like having a bit of structure to these templates would be helpful. And I think if we can do that, I might get somewhere. So that's going to be my next step. I'm going to do that research in the background between now and next week. Hopefully by next week Friday I've got some answers. But I feel like this is something that we can use, something that we can work with. Or maybe not. Maybe next week I'll come back and I'll have a totally different idea. But that's where I'm going to call it today, folks. Very short little stream, not very exciting. I do apologize. This is what I've been working on most of today. So that's me for today. I will see you next week with hopefully something more interesting than just attempting MCP tools and getting nowhere. Bye.